Hi comic book fans, and welcome to my review of The Sandman issue 3 in advance of the Netflix Sandman show. Right, so I've got to the bottom of what's happening with John Constantine. As you will see when we go through issue 3, the central character other than Sandman himself is John Constantine. However, John Constantine is not going to be appearing in the Netflix Sandman series. He is going to be replaced by someone called Joanna Constatine. And the actress Jenna Coleman is going to play the modern Joanna Constatine and also Lady Joanna Constatine, who actually does appear in issue 13 of Sandman. So the same actress is playing both parts, but one in modern day and one in the olden days. Here you can see a tweet from Neil Gaiman. Somebody has asked him, not a complaint because I'm looking forward to Jenna Coleman's performance, but could you not get John Constantine instead because of CW and HBO? And Neil replies, the right situation with John is certainly circumscribed right now. But the plan to have Lady Joanna and Joanna be in the story and played by the same person was there right from the start. It seemed tidier, so it worked out. So John Constantine is tied up with HBO Max, who are going to be doing a range of DC characters, and he's also appeared in CW's Arrowverse. So the rights are complex, and that looks to me as if that's why they've replaced John Constantine with Joanna Constatine in the Netflix series. So Sandman number 3, just a quick recap. So Sandman was captured by the occultist Roderick Burgess in Sandman 1. He's kept captive for 60 odd years. At the end he escapes. He goes back to the dreaming, the land he is master of. As we can see, Sandman, master of dreams. And he goes to his castle. We meet Cain and Abel, we meet Lucian, we meet the Hecate. He asks the Hecate where his 3 items of power are. The first item of power is bag of sand, and he is told it was last seen in the possession of a character called John Constantine. Right, so here we have Sandman issue 3, and on the cover indeed we have John Constantine. And we have a great cover again, and I like the fact we've got Edward Munch's Scream up here. So off we go, and as I've already said, in the Netflix series, John Constantine does not appear. He's being replaced by a character called Joanna Constatine. So I suspect quite a lot of this comic will be very different in the Netflix series. Whether it follows the same plot line with the characters just gender swapped or not, I don't know. We start out at a house, and there's a woman in the house. She's in a poor state of repair, but she's got the bag of sand. We then switch to John Constantine, and this issue is called Dream a Little Dream of Me. And it's a lovely London day, and it's raining, and John is smoking, so nothing new there. He's wandering around the streets of London, and he meets this lady here. Here we go, and she is called Mad Hetty. And she tells him that the Sandman is coming. He tells her the Sandman is a fairy tale. You make up to tell your kids to get them to sleep. She says, I'm 247 years old. I think I know what I'm talking about. And down here it says, funny thing is, she is 247 years old. So Mad Hetty, she appears a few times in some of the some of the Sandman comics. She appears in Death, High Cost of Living, and she also appears in The Dreaming. And she's had dealings with Destiny and Lady Joanna Constatine in the past. Okay, so Sandman goes on his way. We then get a bit where some guy's breaking into a house, and he obviously gets caught up in the dreaming. He ends up dreaming he's Superman, I think. And then finally, Sandman arrives at John Constantine's door and says, "John Constatine, I presume." Here we go. Nice panel there. So Constantine, he's not particularly phased, but reasonably surprised. Sandman asks him where his bag of sand is. He says, I left it in a lockup. I went off to Alaska for 6 months. I had been living with a woman, but when I came back, she'd run off with all my stuff. Rachel, I think she's called. Yeah. He says, I think I know where the bag of sand is. It's in my lockup. They get a ride with John Constantine's mate Chaz, who takes them to the lockup. When they get to the lockup, it's apparent that Rachel has run off with the bag of sand. So they then head off towards to find Rachel, and they go to Rachel's father's house. And the Sandman says he can tell that the bag of sand is there, but there are things in the house that shouldn't be there, and he advises Constantine not to go in. Constantine, of course, ignores him and does go in, and then gets caught up in the dreaming, and the Sandman has to save him. So he catches him here, and Constantine says, "Oh, thank goodness it was just a dream." And of course Sandman says it's never just a dream. Right, then we get this picture here, quite horrific. So this room is covered with bits of flesh, and Constantine says, "Oh my God, it's still alive." And Sandman explains that yes, it's due to the bag of sand. And the Sandman tells whatever it is that's escaped from the dreaming into this room to go back to where it came from, back to the dreaming. They then discover Rachel, who has completely disintegrated because she's been using the bag of sand, and when the Sandman retrieves his sand and takes it away, he reveals that the only thing keeping her alive is the dreams. Constantine says, "You can't leave her like this. Can you do something?" And he says, "Very well." And he gives Rachel a final nice dream where she's back looking young again with Constantine. But of course, she is now dead. And the two-part Constantine says he's been having bad dreams for the last 10 years. Can the Sandman do anything about it? And he says yes. He says I understand very well. And Constantine says thanks. And then we get Constantine singing the famous Sandman song. 1, 2, 3, 4, Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream, make the cutest I've ever seen. Give her the word that I'm not around, then tell me my lonesome life is over. Right, so I don't think my singing is going to break any copyright rules. I doubt they'll pick up on that. There we go. So that's it. It's the end of Sandman number 3, and next up Sandman number 4, and Sandman will be going after his mask, which has been taken by a demon. Hope you've enjoyed this, comic fans. Enough said.